Hi, Thomas. Hope you're well. I thought it'd just be easier to create a little Loom video just to take you through our process, a case study, and how we kind of support there. I just think it'll be easier to visualize the kind of steps that we kind of go through. The example that I'm going to give you is a fashion brand that we manage called Broken Society. They're a bit of a niche fashion brand, so they focus on kind of tattoo clothing, tattoo apparel, t-shirts, joggers. Um, Shopify website. It's kind of we kind of have access to Shopify, and we make our changes through there, as well as working with their kind of theme developer. So I guess where we kind of start, and we've been on a bit of a process with them where we have managed both the UK and the US markets. So we first started on the UK market sort of October time. So we did a sprint of work from October, November, December, and then since then we've done January to February to now to April on the US. So you'll kind of see as we started that work. They went from kind of ranking for about 56 keywords in July to now where they're ranking for 662. They've had a bit of a drop off on the UK just because they've moved budget over to US, so we haven't been able to keep hitting that same trajectory. But we're certainly seeing more keywords in the top three positions, which is really good to see. So it is naturally kind of evolving for them on the UK side, and then similar on the US side as well. We've gotten to a point where they've kind of grown from, I think if we go back to that July time again, it would have been around 84 to around over 2,000 keywords for this one. Um, this one has been harder to get keywords in the top three positions, a little bit more competition on the US side, but it's definitely going in the right direction where we kind of need it to. Our goal has been essentially getting them to rank for non-branded keywords related to kind of searches. So what I kind of do and this is what I do with every brand to start with, is I kind of go through what I call a keyword sitemap, and this is the one that we did for the US, where essentially it's kind of like the URL. We have like new suggested URL just in case we're suggesting changing the URL structure, and we have all the keywords that should be optimized for those pages. So we do the keyword research across SEMrush, Search Console, Google Keyword Planner. We use a lot of different tools to kind of get that, and then we would recommend what the title tag H1 is initially. So that really helps us understand like the foundations of the business and what needs to happen, because ultimately the strategy goes back to this document. We're looking to increase the keywords, keyword positioning here from about 10th to 1st, for example, and we're looking to generate more traffic and generate more clicks for the business based on that. Sorry, I just paused slightly to get another piece of data up. As I said, like we kind of create this keyword sitemap. So we know the keywords we want to improve, and we start making our changes and implementation changes from there. We use a tool called SEO Monitor to then track the kind of progress. So I can see for the UK when we was doing that sprint of work up to Jan, we can see that increase, and also maybe gives you a little bit more understanding of like the time it does take. So you can see obviously here we're working on kind of like the keyword research, the sitemap implementation, and then we start to see that bigger jump, which is good to see. And that doesn't happen for every single business; it depends on their kind of domain. But this is what we kind of want to see, and it got them to a point where they're pretty much ranking first for all of the keywords they wanted. So t-shirt, tattoo style first, kids tattoo clothes first, tattoo art hoodie first, and so on. All these kind of keywords, and it's quite a lot to be fair that they started to rank first for, and then a range that they're ranking second for, and that's basically the kind of goal that we wanted to get to with the kind of process. In terms of how that looks, like from the start point, before we do start the campaign, I do put together like a roadmap. Again, this is for a different business, but what I tend to do is I would go through a little bit of information about us as a business, how we kind of started, sort of, some of the bits about the awards that we've been up for, a little bit more information about our clients, the account team, so who's working on the accounts. And then I kind of go through our process, which is similar to what I've kind of mentioned so far. And then I kind of go through, what a roadmap might look like, what we cover, and then we go through, again, similar to what I've maybe presented so far, but like a little bit about their current visibility, what keywords they currently rank for, have a look at their optimization right now and see what's working for them and what's not working for them. And then I put together like a bit of a slide on what are their potential keyword segments. So what are the keywords they should be ranking for, and start bucketing them up basically. And then I can't start looking at, I sort of work backwards from there. Once I've got those keywords, I can identify their competitors and understand the gaps against their competitors, from a backlink point of view, but also from a keyword point of view. So where they're ranking well in terms of keywords, where their competitors are ranking well for keywords that they're not, and then also what the backlinks their competitors have that they don't have as well. And then, I kind of look at, sort of normally get access to Search Console Analytics, so I can have a bit more of a deep dive into what's happening on the website, look at the current backlink profile. If it's a local SEO campaign, then I would go through and do some insights around the local side. And then I kind of suggest what are the deliverables and the costs relating to that. The costs are all based on kind of time. So, we have a day rate of $650, and we would put together what days we think we need to achieve those results. And then I'd also give like a bit more of a guide on the amount of months that I think we need to really get to the point where they're kind of like dominating or kind of really being successful on the SEO side. So yeah, that's how it kind of works there. And then the only other bits to mention, I suppose, is kind of like we use Basecamp. So we use Basecamp for communication with our customers. So I've just given an example of the Broken Society one. So yeah, for example, as I said, we kind of moved from UK to US strategy in January. Within that piece of work, we put together like a presentation for the business to take them through how we did that and why we did that. Like, what was the research behind it? What was the actions and implementation, the tools that we had to use to kind of get that work over the line. So we can work with, if there's a customer that you think we can specifically support in this area, we can also help with kind of like international SEO. And then the other thing also is that we tend to create a Trello board. So when we agree the project, we go away and create a full Trello board on what needs to happen, who is managing each of those tasks, just so that yourself and the client has a full kind of visibility on, okay, cool, this is exactly what has been briefed by the Inc. team and what's going to be sort of action. So I think that's hopefully given you a lot of it. The only other thing to consider is just the kind of tracking around that as well. So two more elements, but we would tend to, so obviously we'd use Search Console to understand how well the campaign's running. With certain brands, there seems to be, there's always a bit of seasonality, but I tend to look over like a longer period. So, and that's to align where keywords have gone up versus where traffic's gone up. So again, you can see that time before the traffic was quite minimal. They've kind of gone from getting 20 clicks a day to 200 clicks a day. They're in a less seasonal time right now, but they're still getting 4 times as much traffic. And then we can start to see the keywords that are generating that. So like, tattoo inspired clothing, they never had any traffic for those keywords previously, but we've managed to really turn the dial on a lot of those keywords. And then we also go and build a report for the business, a bespoke report based on what they want to see. For this customer, Neil, who owns kind of Broken, he wants to kind of see what keywords are in the top 5 positions and how much traffic they're generating. So we can put together bespoke kind of dashboards based on what the customer wants to see. But yeah, the only thing I was going to say as well is I noticed that you was at Sofa Club, or you'd worked with there, and I think I dropped Dominic Core, who works there, a message. I know he's looking for someone to kind of support on the SEO side. So I think that's one that we could definitely help with. Didn't hear back, but definitely keen to potentially get involved there if possible. But yeah, let me know any questions and we can go from there. Cheers.